What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new transfer news video where we can talk about Martin Zubimendi once again, because the Times newspaper is reporting that Martin Zubimendi is now open to a move either in the January or in the summer transfer window, and Liverpool are very interested in him. And there was even a claim in the media that Martin Zubimendi was so close to joining Liverpool that he already took pictures in a Liverpool shirt with Liverpool before the official transfer announcement has actually failed, because Martin Zubimendi at the last second changed his mind. And everything was agreed with Zubimendi, his agent, representatives and Liverpool. And if information from Steve McManaman is to be believed, then Martin Zubimendi has gone as far as being taken pictures of him in a Liverpool shirt. And his £51 million release clause is still active, and Real Sociedad still hasn't increased his wages. He's still on the base wage that Liverpool could have tripled if Zubimendi accepted the transfer. And now Zubimendi, I think, realized that instead of playing for a mid-table Real Sociedad team, he should join the title challenging and Champions League challenging Liverpool, who are first in the Champions League, first in the Premier League as well. And Man City are also heavily interested in Zubimendi, but the Telegraph newspaper reported that Zubimendi will not join Manchester City. More on that later. But Steve McManaman recently hinted that Zubimendi was very close to joining Liverpool in the summer. So if you are excited about these reports, and let me know in the comments below, do you want Liverpool to sign Zubimendi in the summer or in January? Leave your thoughts down below. So if you are excited about this news, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool FC. So McManaman said the fact that Martin Zubimendi was practically signed by Liverpool, he had his pictures taken with the kit on, and then he decided to go back on his word and stay with Real Sociedad. It meant that actually Ryan Gravenberch were the only two in that position alongside Vaterendo, and Gravenberch, I think, has been absolutely sensational. So what of course was very disappointing that Zubimendi didn't sign, but that allowed Gravenberch to flourish and turn into a world-class player in the defensive midfield position. And Gravenberch is only 22 years old, and McManaman said he got a bit lost at Bayern with injuries and not being able to break into the Bayern Munich midfield. And the manager Thomas Tuchel didn't really fancy Gravenberch. The fact that Arne Slot, of course, knows the Dutch league, knows what Gravenberch is like. He's a Dutchman himself, and he put faith in Gravenberch, and he has responded very well to that faith, because Gravenberch showed everyone what a brilliant midfielder he is, and he's fulfilling his potential. So when could Liverpool get a deal done for Martin Zubimendi, you might ask? Liverpool remain the strongest suitors for Zubimendi. It is a move to Liverpool which remains the transfer most likely to be made by the player when he decides to leave Real Sociedad. And this newspaper is reporting that Liverpool have told Slot that funds will be made available for team strengthening in the January transfer window, and a fresh approach for Zubimendi could be launched before January the 1st. Zubimendi could well agree to the move. It may well be put on ice until the end of the season, with Zubimendi understood to be focused on seeing out the season with Real Sociedad. But definitely in the summer, I think Zubimendi will move. Of course, there are reports that Man City want to spend big in the January transfer window because their season has been absolute disaster. 1 win in 10 games, and I'm enjoying the Man City downfall so much. And of course they want to sign a short-term replacement for Rodri, because it has left a gaping hole in the Man City midfield. And Fabrizio Romano confirmed on his YouTube channel that Man City wants to spend heavily in January, and they want to sign a new central midfielder because they need fresh legs in the midfield. And yes, Martin Zubimendi is a target, but a recent report, fresh update from the Telegraph newspaper, said that Martin Zubimendi has very understandable concerns about joining Man City that is almost certain to prevent a transfer. The report stated that Zubimendi is said to have reservations about the prospect of playing as an understudy to Rodri once he returns. So Zubimendi fears that after 6 months of deputizing for Rodri, he will be second choice and be on the bench after Rodri returns, because yes, Zubimendi is great, but he's not as good as Rodri, obviously. And interestingly, in the Euros final, when Spain beat England, Rodri got injured at half-time and Zubimendi came on. In the second half, Spain played like they weren't missing Rodri at all. I'm not saying Zubimendi is as good as Rodri, but he's definitely close to that world-class level. And Liverpool want Zubimendi in January, this newspaper claims. And Arne Slot and Liverpool pushed hard for Liverpool to sign Zubimendi in the summer. Of course, it was well documented that he changed his mind at the last minute. But multiple journalists, James Pearce and David Lynch, has reported that Liverpool and Zubimendi kept on good terms. They didn't fall out because of this, because Liverpool understood that it was ultimately a personal decision by Zubimendi, that he chose to stay at his boyhood club where his family is settled and he is settled as well. And reports in Spain over the last few weeks are growing and claiming that Zubimendi has experienced a change of heart. Zubimendi is now looking favorably upon taking the next step in his career with a move to the Premier League specifically. And of course, I already made a video on Milos Kerkez, who Liverpool are very interested in signing probably next summer, so not in January. And sources informed this journalist, Fraser Gillen, a winter move for Zubimendi should be relatively straightforward to pull off. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think Real Sociedad would want to lose Zubimendi, but they are powerless. If Liverpool pays Zubimendi's release clause, then it's only up to Zubimendi whether he joins in January or not. And I mean, why wouldn't he want to earn 3 times as much as he's earning at Real Sociedad? Because Liverpool offered him to triple his salary at Liverpool. So I actually respect Zubimendi a lot that he turned down that kind of money to stay at his boyhood club Real Sociedad. But ultimately he probably saw that Real Sociedad has a ceiling here and Liverpool has a ceiling here at the very top of English and European football. So if he wants to achieve big things in his career, this is probably almost the last time to sign for a really big club. He's 25 years old and he has a market value of 60 million euros, which is exactly his release clause, interestingly. And he's an ever present for Real Sociedad in most of their games. He's starting, he played 20 games in total. He was rested twice in the Europa League, where Real Sociedad, I think, are already through to the next round pretty much with 10 points from 6 games, so they have a very good chance of going through. And he has 1 goal and 2 assists, just to mention that. And I also wanted to look at Zubimendi's injury record. So this season he already had 2 injuries, missing 7 games. Last season he had 2 injuries, missing 7 games in total. This season he hasn't been injured at all. And the previous seasons he picked up 1 small injury, but in total he missed 10 games overall in his entire career, which is very low compared to some other players. I mean, Curtis Jones missed 10 games in 1 season. So yeah, let me know, do you want Liverpool to sign Zubimendi? I think it would be a fantastic January addition. And don't take it as, now Gravenberch will be on the bench when Zubimendi signs, because Liverpool can rotate them. And because we are playing every 3 days, pretty much almost until the end of the season. So McAllister, Gravenberch and Zubimendi would be an absolutely fantastic trio for the holding midfield role. And then Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, Harvey Elliott can play in the attacking midfield position as well. But I think Szoboszlai and Elliott should be rotated in that position. Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch and Zubimendi should be rotated in the defensive midfield position. And I also wanted to share with you guys that now Champions League top goal scoring clubs, including the European Cup, so this is since like 1959 or 1960 when the Champions League which was called the European Cup, formerly was introduced. And of course Real Madrid, who qualified for the most seasons, scored the most goals, but Liverpool are 7th in the list, just a few goals behind Benfica and Juventus. And considering Liverpool haven't qualified for the Champions League a lot of times in the Premier League era, this is still a fantastic achievement. And you can see in the top 20 there are like smaller clubs like Dynamo Kiev, Crvena Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade as they are called in England, Anderlecht, PSV Eindhoven, and Man City as well, another small club in 19th place. And also this is a more telling that goals per game, I think, is a metric that should be used to properly evaluate which club has been the most prolific in the Champions League. And Liverpool are actually 4th. Only Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have scored more goals in the Champions League. And I consider these 4 clubs to be the four biggest clubs in Europe, alongside Manchester United, but they are an absolute wilderness at the moment, in the mid-table in the Premier League. And I would absolutely love it if Man United only qualified for the Conference League next season. And you might wonder who are the top scorers in the Champions League for Liverpool. Of course, Mo Salah with 43 goals. But it's amazing that you can get into the top 5 of Liverpool's top all-time goal scorers in the Champions League by just scoring 10 goals. Luis Garcia has 10 goals, and I mean, just to put that into context, Darwin Núñez, who a lot of Liverpool fans are slating right now, he has 5 goals in the Champions League. So if he scores another 5, he will be in the top 10 goal scorers in the Champions League. And Mane, Firmino and Gerrard are making up the top 4, of course, and they are all Liverpool legends. I would consider maybe Fernando Torres a Liverpool legend as well. Luis Garcia, Peter Crouch, Dirk Kuyt, they were very good players, but not necessarily Liverpool legends for me. And also great news, Chiesa and Jota are in full team training and they are ready to be in the squad for the Liverpool-Fulham game on the weekend. Probably Chiesa won't play, but Jota, I expect him to start against Fulham if he's fit enough, but I'm not sure if he can play the full 90 minutes. Maybe he will be taken off after like 60 minutes. And Arne Slot said on Chiesa that might be a good moment for him to get some playing minutes against Southampton in the League Cup. We know his qualities, but he needs to get his fitness level. And Arne Slot also commented on Darwin Núñez, saying that the last half an hour against Girona was not up to the standards, and that was due to the chances he missed. We also did something to him when he missed the chances. I think everyone needs an arm around like this, but I made it clear to him he's not only judged on the goals he scored, and of course ideally we want our number 9 to score more goals. Arne Slot commented that Darwin Núñez does a lot more to the team than just score goals and get assists. He's a brilliant presser of the ball. His link-up play, I think, slightly improved this season, but ultimately Arne Slot wants the Liverpool number 9 to score more goals, and that includes Darwin Núñez, of course. So because Federico Chiesa missed out on a lot of games, he might not be in the Fulham squad yet because he still needs to get his fitness up, but Jota will be in the squad, Arne Slot said, most likely, and maybe Federico as well, but that depends on the numbers that Liverpool have. But now that Liverpool's injuries are easing up, Tsimikas is in training and Konate is just a few weeks away as well. Hopefully Liverpool will attack this crazy December and January period with a full squad very, very soon. And Joe Gomez commented on nearly leaving Liverpool in the summer. He said, "I believe things happen for a reason," Joe Gomez said. And he admitted that he came close to leaving Liverpool last summer, but he's delighted that he ended up staying. And Joe Gomez was almost joining Newcastle in a deal which would have seen Anthony Gordon come to Liverpool, and Liverpool would have paid an additional £30 million on top of, giving Newcastle Joe Gomez. But I think that worked out fine because Luis Diaz has had his best season so far at Liverpool, and we would have Anthony Gordon would have come in probably for Luis Diaz. So I think the fact that Newcastle pulled the plug on the deal worked out well for Liverpool, because Joe Gomez is such a brilliant player and he's vital nowadays that he's filling in for Liverpool at centre-back, even though he had some shaky moments against Newcastle. And Gomez said, yeah, that transfer and that move was definitely for real, but my focus was always on Liverpool. I know how blessed I am to be here. It will be 10 years next summer. I don't take that for granted. It is the best club in the world in my eyes. And it was quickly a case of adapting and getting right back into the swing of things. It was quickly put to bed. That's football. I'm a big believer in focusing on the present. To be somewhere nearly 10 years and not have any blips would not be natural, which probably speaks about my ambition. And I believe things happen for a reason. It is a pleasure to be part of such a great group of players, and we obviously have such a good foundation to hopefully achieve something this year. That is what you want to be part of. I love being here. I love the club. As a player, you always want to play, so you have to just try and be ready in many ways. I am used to it, having had many ups and downs, but you relish playing and having the opportunity to be in the team. It's a process from a tactical standpoint. It's definitely not as straightforward. It's just seeing a pass and playing it. A lot of it is about how we can get 3 against 2s around the pitch and try not to overload on one side. And Arne Slot is constantly reminding us, Joe Gomez said, that we cannot get complacent. The coaching staff and the gaffer's attention to detail is second to none. I think even when we come in at halftime, sometimes when things are not going our way, the ability to adapt in certain situations and guide us in the right way is so good. And it is still early in the season, Joe Gomez reminded us. We haven't done anything yet. We have got a platform, but it is nothing if we do not capitalize on it. I know everything stems from this at Liverpool, and that is all that matters to me. So absolutely fantastic words from Joe Gomez, and I'm so happy that he stayed. He's one of my favorite players and the longest serving Liverpool player right now, and hopefully he can stay at Liverpool for many, many years to come, but because he can play in so many positions to a very high level. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.